Good morning children. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn a new concept, that is, I have written here, elementary operations or transformation of a matrix. Okay, that means given any matrix, you can do some elementary operations. You know what are elementary operations? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? So it says that you can transform a matrix using some elementary operations. Okay, now elementary operations, in that your row operation is denoted by capital R and your column operation is denoted by capital C followed by index. Okay, what do you mean by index? Means you are writing here the name of the row or the name of the column here. Now what all possibilities you can have for doing elementary operations, children? These are the possible operations. What you can do is, children, you can writing in one side. Okay, you can interchange any row or any column. Okay, that means Ri can be made Rj, Rj can be made Ri. Similarly, you can interchange two columns. Ci can be converted to Cj. Now next one is, any row you can multiply with a non-zero real number. Okay, non-zero constant. Okay, you can multiply. Similarly, any column also you can multiply by non-zero constant. Then you can add or subtract some scalar multiple of one row to the other row. What do you mean by this? One row Ri, in that row Ri, you are adding Ri, that row, to some scalar multiple of some another row. Similarly, to one column Ci, you can add or subtract. Now addition also means subtraction. It is both plus and minus. You can take scalar multiple of the other column. Is that clear? Let's understand through one example. Suppose if I have a matrix A as 1, 2, 3, 0, 5, 6, 1, 1, 7. So here what do I mean? Ri is replaced by Rj. So that means I can exchange row 1 to row 2. So what will happen now? New matrix will be row 1. This is your row 1 and row 2. So it will be 0, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 7. Is that clear? Same way you can exchange two columns. That means C1 will become C2. This column C2 will become C1. The next one is, you can multiply any Ri with scalar multiple of another row, or you can multiply any column with scalar multiply of another column. Suppose column 3 I am multiplying by 5 times of column 3 itself. So what I will do, children, now you are making change in which row? You are going to write the change in that particular row or column. Now here it is changes is in third column. So I am going to make change in the third column. Okay, so it is 3 times. So 3 3s are 9, 3 6 are 18 and 3 7s are 21. In that column you are going to make change as I have done here. Okay, same way you can do it for row also. The next one is, Ri, to one row you are adding scalar multiple of another row, or you are doing subtracting a scalar multiple of other row or to a column. For example, children, in row 1 for your matrix A, I am talking about matrix A. Okay, children, if my row 1 I am doing R1 plus R2, that means R1 and R2 I am adding. So how it will be now? Now you are making change in row 1. So row 1 will be kept as it. Row 1 will be changed, other elements will be as it is. Okay, this all happens in your original matrix A. So what will happen now, children? R1 plus R2. So 1 plus 0, 1. 2 plus 5, 7. 3 plus 6, 9. Is that clear? So now what I have done here, children, here I have done here is, I am doing some row or column operations on a given matrix. And when you do a row or a column transformations or operations on a given matrix, the new matrix, whatever you get, for example, this one you got a new matrix and new matrix. When you compare this with the original matrix, then they are called as equivalent matrices. Okay, so what do you mean by equivalent matrices? Equivalent matrices are those matrices which are obtained from the other, by applying elementary transformations. That means This matrix, what I put a tick mark, is the equivalent matrix of this. Okay, similarly this matrix is an equivalent matrix of my original matrix. Similarly this matrix is my equivalent matrix of my original matrix. Okay, so they are called as equivalent matrices because they are obtained from each other. And one more thing, children, you must have seen in the elementary operations, whatever happens between rows or columns. You cannot exchange a row and a column. You have to do it between rows. You cannot add a row to another column. It happens only between rows. You cannot take a scalar multiple of a row into another column. So whatever happens will be happening between rows or between columns. So same way, when you are solving the problems also, we are going to see this kind of restrictions of elementary operations of a matrix. Now, why did we learn elementary operations? In order to find inverse of a matrix. Okay, so my next topic is invertible matrices. If you remember, children, we have studied in the property of matrix multiplication that every matrix, okay, every square matrix A, right, has an identity element, has an identity matrix I that such that AI is equal to A. If you remember, this was called as identity matrix, and that time I told you that every matrix may not have inverse, because when we talk about identity, it speaks about, if it is additive identity, you speak about additive inverse. If it is multiplicative identity, you speak about multiplicative inverse. But here it is multiplicative identity. So multiplicative inverse will be there only if your matrix is invertible. That means it is having inverse. So now how do you find it is having inverse? See, look here. If A and B are two square matrices, because identity is there only for square matrix, right? Such that this condition is satisfied. A into B and B into A. When you take the product, you get an identity matrix of the same order. Then such a matrix is called as inverse of your given matrix. And this matrix B is now called as A inverse. So it will be changed as A into A inverse is equal to A inverse into A is equal to I. Is that clear? So when this condition is true, then your matrix will be invertible. So we have learned elementary operations in order to find inverse of a given matrix. Alright, when we solve problems, children, it will be more clear. Now there are two important results based on this. First result is inverse of a square matrix is unique if it exists. Right? Very logical. That means if one matrix given to you has an inverse, then you will be able to find its inverse which is unique. That means a person A cannot find a different inverse of a given matrix. A person B cannot find an inverse of a different answer. Is that clear? So all the inverses will be unique. Is that clear? So the final answer, which is an inverse of a given matrix, will be same for all irrespective of whoever calculates it, keeping in mind the row and column operations. Okay, so let's prove here. Let us prove by counter way. Okay, suppose A, B and invertible. Let A be an invertible matrix. Okay. Such that invertible matrix such that it has two inverses. Okay, let us name it as, say, some B and C. Okay, so by definition of inverse matrix, what will happen, children? AB will be same as BA will be same as I. Similarly, AC will be same as CA will be same as I. This is I by definition. Now, let us start with this calculation. You know that B is B into I, because B is the inverse. No, so B will be equal to BI. Now, instead of I am going to substitute AC from here. Now what you do, children? B and A. You know that matrix multiplication is associative. So I can bring them together. But B into A is I into C. But I into Z is nothing but C. So what I have proved here, children? B, which was my inverse of my matrix A, is same as C. So that means therefore inverse of a matrix is unique. Alright. And the last result, it's a formula, okay? It's a theorem as well as it leads you to a formula. If A and B are invertible matrices of the same order, then AB inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse. So children, what does it mean? If A is invertible, then A inverse will be there. B is invertible, so B inverse will be there. Now you have to show that, children, AB inverse. That means what? The matrix AB has inverse and its inverse is of the type B inverse, A inverse. Okay, so let us use this. So since A has inverse, A inverse will be there. B has inverse, B inverse will be there. So AB is also having inverse. AB has inverse, no children? Its formula we have to develop. AB has inverse means what? By definition, AB and its inverse will be identity. Now you pre-multiply both the sides by A inverse. Pre-multiply means apply on both the sides A inverse, okay? Left side. Okay? Yes. Now you know that matrix multiplication is associative. So I am going to just change the order. You know that A inverse into I is A inverse because A inverse exists, right? A into A inverse is I by definition. A, B inverse and A inverse. I into B, B. Yes, because it is invertible, right? Invertible, and also you have identity matrix, right? In that. So B into AB inverse is equal to A inverse. Now again pre-multiply by B inverse on both the sides. Okay, so this will be B inverse, A inverse. Don't write this side, okay? In the matrix, you know that matrix multiplication is not commutative, right? So children, always remember, wherever if I am writing left side, left multiplication, if I am doing here, same left multiplication is to be done here because these are not real numbers, they are matrices. So whether you write in front or back makes a difference because matrix multiplication is not commutative. Now you group B and B inverse is I. Definition, AB inverse is equal to B inverse, A inverse. But you have learned that AB has inverse, so this will be AB inverse is equal to B inverse, A inverse. Have you understood? So this is the formula that AB inverse, if it is there, if you want to find inverse of AB, then you multiply B inverse and A inverse, that is your answer. If you remember, the same thing we have done for AB transpose, right? AB transpose was B transpose, A transpose. Okay, like this you relate things and study, children. Okay, so if you like my video, children, please don't forget to subscribe my video and attend all my classes regularly for better.